Episode 7, The Acoustics of Power. Control is not exhibited, it is suffered. Introduction, The Acoustics of Power. Enter the room. Don't look for a chair, a look, or a space. Simply inhabit the space. Most men come in asking for permission with their body, with a speed of movement that reveals his anxiety to fit in. You, under the brand MentorNoriegaIA, appear so that the environment stops. Royal authority has its own acoustics, the silence it generates in its wake. When someone with true inner density crosses the threshold, banal conversations die from lack of oxygen. It is not fear, it is instinctive recognition of a superior mass. The air becomes heavy, the pace of others slows down, and the focus of the room inevitably shifts towards your axis. You haven't said a word or made a threatening gesture, but the control has already occurred. Because power is not demonstrated with noise or status poses. It is felt like an atmospheric pressure that no one can ignore. Block 1, The Manipulation of Currents. Observe the room not as a collection of people, but as a map of energy flows. Each individual emits a frequency, neediness, insecurity, or fragile arrogance. The mass is usually like dry leaves, moved by the current of other people's opinion. You are going to be the vortex. Maintaining this fixity means learning not to let yourself be dragged by the vibrations of others. If they are accelerated, I know the slowness that slows them down. If they are tense, I know the calm that unsettles them. By refusing to blend in with their emotional state, you force its currents to end up crashing against your wall. Manipulating a group without speaking is a matter of firmness. Choose a point in space and take ownership of it. Use your gaze to scan for leaks of influence, not to seek contact. When you detect the one who talks the most, you have detected the weakest. When you detect the one seeking visual validation, you have detected the satellite. By deliberately ignoring nominal hierarchies and maintain your own breathing rhythm, you are rewriting the code of the place in real time. Block 2, The Economy of Gesture. Sovereignty does not shout, settles. Many men are noisy with their bodies. They move their hands aimlessly or adjust their posture seeking approval. Every micro-movement is a flight of status and a sign of an unfocused mind. Under the MentorNoriegaIA brand, your body is a block of granite. Eliminate any movement that lacks tactical intent. If you are going to move a hand, do it so slowly that it strains the other person's eye to follow your path. If you're going to turn your head, do it as if the air were thick. As if each degree of rotation had a price of attention. The economy of the gesture manifests your internal control. A predator does not waste energy on nervous tics. Its stillness is its greatest threat, because the environment ignores. When that calm will turn into a lethal impact. By remaining static while others stir, you become the owner of the room's timeline. You dictate the time and rhythm, and whoever dictates the rhythm, dictates the sentence. Block 3, The Void of Response. Your sharpest tool is not the word, but its absence where the other expects a reaction. Common interactions are action-reaction games, where both desperately seek to avoid discomfort. You are going to use that tension as an instrument of dissection. When someone provokes you or questions you, don't respond immediately. Create a vacuum for 5 seconds. Maintain eye contact with icy curiosity of someone who observes an insect under glass. In that silence, the other will begin to crumble. Will explain his joke or give information he didn't mean to give, just to fill the chasm you've created. By not offering him a surface to bounce on, his own anxiety consumes him. Holding the whole shows that you don't need anything from it. You are the space where his words die without echo. Block 4, Territorial Occupation. Space is not asked for, it is occupied by mass rights. See how low density men sit. They shrink and take up minimal space, like prey trying to be invisible. You are going to expand your gravitational field. Occupying territory is not being rude, is to be inevitable. When you sit, do so as if that seat were the center of the universe. Your elbows should claim the supports and your back should inhabit the backrest. With a heaviness that suggests that no one could move you from there. Don't look at the ground, the land is for those who seek permission. He looks at the horizon of the room, claiming with his eyes. Every corner of space as if it were already under your jurisdiction. Being comfortable in a strange environment is the ultimate sign of power. If you are at home anywhere, the rest of the world. He feels like a guest in your territory. You are not a visitor in another's reality. Every reality you enter becomes your playground. Block 5, the scanner look. Dominion is not blind, it is hyper-aware. Most look for signs of acceptance. You are going to use your gaze like a scalpel. You don't look at the person, but through them to find their breaking point. Detects energy leak in accelerated tone of voice. Or in the forced laughter that confesses submission. When someone avoids holding your gaze, it reveals that their territory is invaded. That information is your silent ammunition. Don't point out weaknesses with words, that's weak. Point them out with your neutral, heavy, and unalterable fixity. Let them feel that you don't judge what they say, but rather measure what they are. By not reacting to their facade, you force them to face their own insignificance. Block 6, the dismantling of masks. The world is a dance of lies to maintain social order. You are going to be the acid that dissolves those masks through tactical indifference. When someone tries to impress you with achievements or possessions, your response should be an absolute blankness of amazement. Don't assent or validate his ego, let his story die in the air. That silence is a death sentence for your facade. By not feeding their need for recognition, you force them to collapse. You will see how they begin to stutter or look for another person to give them the dose of dopamine that you have denied them. You are no one's audience, you are the stage and the immovable axis. In your presence there is only the naked truth of execution. Block 7, the destruction of hierarchies. There are nominal hierarchies, positions and labels, and real hierarchies. The latter are dictated by the internal density and collision frequency. Under MentorNoriegaIA, you only respect the second. Don't be impressed by titles, they are guides so that the sheep know who to follow. A sovereign establishes its own hierarchy based on the economy of its movements. If you act as if the other's position had no weight over your will, that position will begin to lose weight in physical reality. Ignore submission protocols. Don't speak lower or move faster because of someone else's rush. By treating supposed superiors with icy calm, you reverse the order of the world. You demonstrate that your authority emanates from your center, not from a piece of paper. When the environment perceives that you do not recognize its hierarchy, it ends up accepting yours. Block 8, the infiltration of the will. Invisible control does not seek to win arguments, but that others defend your vision as their own. Many try to impose themselves with noise and brute force, generating resistance. You use infiltration. Don't try to convince, conviction is a plea disguised as logic. Launch short, heavy premises loaded with certainty. Don't explain or justify them, let them fall like stones in a pond. The subsequent silence is when the idea begins to colonize the other's mind. If you don't doubt, they have nowhere to hold on to question you. By sowing concepts with absolute indifference about whether they are accepted, you eliminate the ego defense of the other. Eventually, they will repeat your words believing them to be their own conclusions. That is the ultimate victory, when your will is the operating system of the environment. Block 9. Control of the narrative. In any group there is scattered background noise. You are going to give direction to that chaos through surgical intervention. Listen to the rhythm of the conversation and identify the moment of loss or indecision. This is where your voice must enter with a diaphragm phrase that acts as an anchor. This is the way, that is not relevant, or the goal is this. By reducing complexity to a simple and authoritative statement, the group will align themselves with you out of pure survival instinct. They will line up because you are the densest. The leader is the one who establishes the framework of reality in which everyone operates. If you define what is talked about and how it is talked about, you are the owner of the room. Block 10. Resistance to chaos. The environment will test you with tension or jokes to measure your consistency. Many fail here, they laugh to not look bad or they explain themselves to be understood. All those are reactions of subordination. Your response to any attempt at imbalance must be nothing. If they try to ridicule you, respond with a look of bored curiosity. If they pressure you with time, slow down your movements. If the group goes into hysteria, keep your pulse low. That resistance to chaos generates your aura of invulnerability. The perception of rock will make them look for you when things get tough. But you are not there to save them, but to lead them from your own authority. Block 11. Strategic disconnection. Your attention is the most valuable currency. Most people give it away by agreeing to everything. That confesses total availability, and what is always available has no value. Under the brand MentorNoriegaIA, your approach is a privilege that is earned. Look away at the exact moment the other stops adding value. If they say something banal or mediocre, don't reward them with your eye contact. Look the other way or let your eyes become glazed over. That disconnection is a silent but devastating punishment. The other person will feel that they have lost access to your axis and will raise their level to regain it. You are not there to entertain, you are the filter of what deserves to exist in your presence. By managing your attention as a scarce resource, you force the world to compete for it. Block 12. The weight of listening. Listening is not waiting for your turn to speak. Many are eager to show what they know, revealing insecurity. A sovereign practices active silence. Listen with an intensity that overwhelms, without nodding, without smiles, without noises. Maintain absolute fixity until the other runs out of air and begins to doubt his own words due to your lack of reaction. Your silence is a mirror of their insecurities and a tool of extraction. While the other bleeds out trying to fill the void, you map their fears. This information allows you, when you decide to speak, do it with a surgical precision that closes the conversation. The one who speaks the least is the one who rules the most. Block 13. The authority of absence. Power is exercised, above all, by not being there. If you are always present, you are landscape and you are predictable. Maintaining control requires you to master tactical output. Leave when the energy is at its highest. No long explanations or seeking approval. Simply remove your mass from the space safely and abruptly. That vacuum of gravity leaves a trace that will vibrate in the air. Your absence must feel like a loss of status to those who remain. Being rare, each appearance has the impact of a cinematic event. Master the art of not being there so that, when you are, it is impossible to ignore you. Block 14, Immunity to Drama. The modern world is a factory of hysteria. Most are emotional sponges. Under MentorNoriegaIA, you are going to be the ice wall. Other people's drama is an attempt to hijack your attention and sovereignty. If you react with the same intensity, you allow them to dictate your internal state. Your response to the crisis should be a calm that borders on the offensive. Don't put yourself in their place, its place is one of defeat. Keep your breathing deep and your gaze neutral. This lack of resonance causes the drama to fade due to lack of nourishment. You are a reference point of cold execution. The only man who doesn't tremble when other people's roofs fall down. Block 15, The Power of No. Explaining yourself is asking for permission. Every time you give a detailed reason for a decision, you recognize that the other has the right to judge you. That is frequency of subordination. A sovereign does not give explanations, gives decrees. Learn to use the short phrase and the final period. I'm not interested, it's not the time, or I've decided something else. Don't add the because, it is the crack through which they will try to manipulate you. The silence that follows a dry no is an underrated tool. Let the other drown in their need to understand. Your will is law in your territory. The less you explain yourself, the more authority you will have. Block 16, The Field Effect. Reality doesn't happen to you, you project it. Most are passive observers who decide their mood based on the weather or the news. You are the architect of the field effect, imposing your internal state on the environment. If you enter with absolute certainty and internal density of steel, the reality around you will begin to bend to fit your frame. People will speak in the tone that you set, and walls will become opportunities. It is physics of will, the densest conviction wins the war of frames. If you behave like the owner of the room, the subconscious of others will hand you the keys without protest. Your vision is the only light that matters, the rest are shadows that need to be adjusted. Block 17, Negotiation from the Void. Many negotiate from the fear of losing the opportunity, a trail that the shark smells. Under the MentorNoriegaIA brand, you negotiate from a vacuum, the absence of need. It is the certainty that your status does not depend on a piece of paper or a handshake. To maintain control at a table is to demonstrate, without speaking, that you are willing to get up and walk to the door at any second. This willingness to abandon is the atomic weapon of the will. The one who needs the treatment the most has the least power. By showing icy indifference, you force the other person to work to retain you. You don't ask for conditions, you dictate the price of your presence. Only when the world knows you don't need it, does it start offering you everything it has. Block 18, Tactical Contempt. Amazement is the emotion of subordinates. If you are amazed by the money or fame of others, you confess scarcity and place yourself below. Tactical contempt is the total lack of impression. Looking at a luxury object as if it were plastic or a massive success like the weather. By not reacting to what the world considers big, you become bigger. This lack of awe short-circuits the ego of high-status people. When they see that their brilliance does not blind you, they begin to doubt their own worth. Your indifference is the magnet that attracts them towards your axis of gravity. Block 19, Anchoring Reality. In every interaction there is a battle to decide what is true. Most people wait for someone in authority to tell them what to think. You are going to be the anchor of reality through the repetition of absolute premises. Don't argue, decrees. If they question your vision, don't defend yourself, look at them like they're saying something obvious stupid. That lack of defense makes your truth seem immovable. People prefer to follow a sure lie than a dubious truth. Maintaining control is understanding that reality is malleable, and that the man with the densest conviction gives it shape. Become the reference point where other people's opinions crash and fall apart. Block 20, the physiology of passive threat. Control is not violence, but suggesting that it is an option that you have decided not to use. Many try to appear threatening with aggressive noises or gestures, which betrays fear and insecurity. Under MentorNoriegaIA, the threat is passive, icy, and silent. It manifests itself in the relaxation of your shoulders while the other is tense, and in the fixity of your pupils in the face of conflict. A predator does not need to show fangs for prey to know they are there. Your internal control emits a signal that the foreign subconscious translates as, "Don't push this wall." Learn to sustain physical and personal tension without retreating or altering your pulse. By not reacting with flight or attack, you become a tactical and disturbing enigma. Block 21, the interrogating silence. Most have a visceral horror of the void and chatter and believe that silence is a problem. You will use that fear to extract the truth. In a confrontation, when the other person finishes speaking, don't say anything. Keep your gaze on the bridge of his nose and wait 4 seconds. You will see how it begins to twist, add details, or contradict itself, just to break the tension you've created. Silence is the sovereign's truth serum. By not offering an answer, you force the other to question themselves and fill the gap with their insecurities. He who speaks exposes himself, he who is silent judges. Let them bleed into words while you remain whole. Block 22, the architecture of the look. Your gaze is not to receive, but to emit. Many look for clues on how to behave, you look to establish how they should act. There is a difference between looking and observing. Observing implies surgeon's coldness. Don't seek approval, look for micro-expressions of doubt or tension in the other. That is the scanner look that MentorNoriegaIA demands. By keeping it heavy and flicker-free, you send the message. I'm really seeing you and I'm not impressed by what I see. That lack of astonishment dismantles other people's confidence. They can lie with words, but not with their biology to those who know how to read the language of fear. Your look establishes who is the observer and who is the observed. Block 23, the purge of validation. Flattery is the Trojan horse of weakness. Many are addicted to recognition that inflates their ego. And that is the crack through which the environment takes control of its internal state. If you need to be told that you are great to feel it, your greatness belongs to others. Under the MentorNoriegaIA brand, praise should bounce off your armor. Receive a compliment with the same stone face with which you receive an insult. This lack of emotional reaction terrifies social manipulators. They expect you to let your guard down. By not doing so, you demonstrate that you're standard. It is internal and unattainable for your judgment. Keep walking regardless of the applause or whistles. By becoming immune to recognition, you become unmanageable and sovereign. Block 24, operational coldness. Society programs you to be an emotional mirror through empathy. That is a renunciation of your axis of gravity. If someone panics or victimizes and you soften, you have validated their defeat. You practice operational coldness, you don't go to their place, you bring them to your execution place. If there is a mistake, don't look for emotional excuses, correct the fault accurately. Your icy calm in the face of drama is not cruelty, it is the only functional leadership in chaos. By refusing to participate in the hysteria, you become the anchor that stops the drift. They will seek you out because you are stable, and stability is the highest form of power. Your emotional indifference allows you to keep your finger on the trigger of the right decision. Block 25, the sovereignty of criterion. Why do you care about the opinion of someone who hasn't built anything? Many live worried about what will they say from mediocre people who do not control their own lives. Maintaining invisible control is giving other people's opinions a value of 0. Unless someone is on your collision frequency, their words are just noise. Walk through a room full of criticism as naturally as through an empty forest. If you don't ask for opinions, you don't give power. Your decisions are fait accompli, not topics for debate. By eliminating the need to be accepted, you free up energy for conquest. True freedom is the ability to be hated without altering your sovereign pulse. Your criteria is the only law, the rest of the world is just the landscape where it applies. Block 26, the aesthetics of indifference. Necessity is the aroma of slaves. Many come in needing a sale, a smile, or validation. That need is a rope that the environment uses to pull you. Under MentorNoriegaIA, you cultivate the aesthetic of indifference, total sufficiency. It is the certainty that if the world turned around, your internal value would not change. Walk through high-status places with the same boredom as walking down the hallway at home. By not showing desire or urgency, you make yourself unavailable for manipulation. People despair at the indifference of a sovereign and will try to impress you. Every failed attempt by them is a transfer of power to you. The less you seem to want something, the more the room will want to give itself to you. Block 27, the destruction of the status of others. The world is full of clay idols with liquid internal architecture. Many kneel before the facade, lower their tone or laugh at bad jokes. That is voluntary renunciation of sovereignty. You see through the mask. Look the most powerful man in the eyes with the same neutrality as a waiter. Don't give him the honor of your nervousness. Treating other people's status as irrelevant is an act of terrorism against your ego. Observe his escapes, how he looks for his reflection or adjusts his suit in the silence. At that moment, his myth dies before your scanner gaze. Its power is nominal and fragile. The only real status does not depend on a position. You are the king in your territory, and kings are not impressed by noble titles. Block 28, victory without fight. Direct conflict is noisy, costly, and unnecessary. It is a sign of lack of resources. A sovereign practices invisible conflict, the victory that occurs before war. It is achieved through strategic positioning. Withdraw support, sound out with silence, or occupy a key physical space. By not offering an attack surface, the other exhausts himself fighting shadows. You move the pieces while the other thinks he is still deciding his move. Don't get into the opponent's drama, creates a reality where he is irrelevant. If they try to attack you and you don't react, the attack turns on them. Their own anger throws them off balance while you remain in your center of gravity. Block 29, emotional autarky. Many are emotional parasites who need the warmth of the pack to not fall apart. Its internal state depends on external sources. If the world cuts the power, they go out. Under MentorNoriegaIA, you develop emotional autarky. Your power generating plant is inside your internal bunker. You don't need the room to understand you or anyone to accompany you in your vision. Walk through the desert of other people's indifference with absolute integrity. By not needing anything emotionally, you become dangerous and unmanageable. No one can blackmail you with rejection. Your loneliness is a high-density shield that generates a magnetic attraction. The world always tries to orbit around that which does not need the world. Block 30, the physics of displacement. Observe how people walk, they dodge, apologize with their bodies and are in a hurry. They are in a constant state of apologizing for existing. You practice the physics of displacement. A sovereign does not dodge, the world moves away. It is not crashing due to clumsiness, but a matter of intention and trajectory. Walk with your eyes on the horizon, with a heavy, rhythmic, and sure step. If your intention is dense, the other's subconscious will detect your vector and open the way. This is the pass authority. If you do not doubt your career, others will not hesitate to give it to you. Don't ask permission with your shoulders. Your body is a mass that claims the space it occupies and towards which it is directed. You are the main event in any scenario. Block 31, be the vortex. In every interaction there is a point of convergence to where energy flows. You will become that vortex without emitting a single decibel of noise. It is achieved through pressure listening. When someone speaks, look at them with a fixation that makes them feel dissected. Don't nod or make it easy for him, force it to support the weight of your attention. You will see how the rest of the room turns towards you to see how you react. At that point, you've captured the gravity of the group. You are the silent judge that everyone depends on to know if something is important. If you ignore it, the group will. If you tense, the group will tense. Your silence is the baton that directs the orchestra of the environment. Block 32, the aesthetics of inaccessibility. Excessive closeness kills respect. Most are too accessible and predictable. Under the MentorNoriegaIA brand, you cultivate inaccessibility to protect your density. What cannot be touched or predicted becomes something sacred. Be a tactical mystery. No one should know what you think or have guaranteed access to you. That distance is what generates true gravity. By making yourself scarce, you force the world to value every second of your presence. Your silence is a wall and your absence is a presence that weighs more than other people's noise. Master the art of being present without surrendering and being seen without being invaded. Inaccessibility is the final shield of your throne. Block 33, be the final point. In every interaction, someone decides when the function ends. You are going to be that full stop not through speech, but through action. Have the authority to decide when one reality ends and another begins. It manifests when you get up from a chair with absolute heaviness and without looking at anyone. As if time had run out by your simple decree. It manifests when closing an invisible door by turning away your gaze. By being the owner of the endings, you become the owner of the processes. Do not allow the environment to dictate your timing. Your breathing rhythm is the metronome that the room must follow. If you decide that the subject is closed, the subject is dead. Block 34, the synthesis of dominion. Power is not a shout, but a whisper of gravity. Your body is a tool of colonization and your silence a sentence that suffocates. Now, transmute this knowledge into instinct. Do not think the rules, inhabit them. Don't try to do control, be control. Return to your center, to that fertile void where you lack nothing. Look at the world as an extension of your will that awaits your orders. Reality is malleable for those who do not need to be validated by it. Turn off the noise. Hold the steadiness. Feel how the pressure changes just because you have decided it. I am MentorNoriegaIA. Power has been perceived, endured, and anchored. The room is yours. Execute with the coldness of someone who has already won. Block 35, the micromanagement of status. Control is won in millimeters, who looks away first or who adjusts to the other's pace. These are the silent battles you must win. Slow down your physical responses. If they call you, do not turn instantly. Wait a second, finish what you are doing and offer your attention with heavy slowness. That delay is a statement that your time and focus are sovereign. You are not a spring-in response to someone else's stimulus. Practice the visual triangulation anchoring. Don't just look at the eyes, look at the space around the person. Assess their right to be there, let them feel the weight of your detached observation. Status is not requested, it is established by pure economy of movement. Block 36, the contempt of urgency. Someone else's urgency is an attempt to colonize your pace. It's for now or run are chains that try to tie you to the panic of the other. Maintaining control is being the only man who does not run when the rest lose their heads. If the environment is in a hurry, walk more slowly. If it shouts, lower your volume. By denying validity to their urgency, you take away their power. Your calmness in the fire shows that your process is immune to external pressures. That invulnerability grants you absolute command. They look for you because you are the anchor, and by holding on to you, they accept your hierarchy. Master the art of making the world wait. What is eternal takes its time. Block 37, the protocol of the void. Sometimes, the greatest act of control is to withdraw your presence at the height of tension. When everyone is waiting for the final blow or the answer, just leave. Leave the sentence halfway or the message on read. That emptiness generates unbearable anguish and the other will project your strength onto their mind. By not being there to be confronted, your image grows bigger. You become a tactical ghost that dwells in their thoughts. You don't need closure, the weak need closure to sleep peacefully. You live in uncertainty because you are the source of certainty. By leaving the world in suspense, you keep its attention anchored to your axis. You are the director of a play where the others wait for instructions on an empty stage.